listening to
FM.
Welcome. It's 7 o'clock. I actually started at 7 o'clock this week. I'm Dan Formless. This is the Forward Movement Show, live from the Forward Movement studio here in London on Hoxton FM, and I'm very, very pleased to have managed to get Mr. Alex Seller out into West Hoxton as I talk all over his greatest hit and the vocal. And I watch his toes curl up. He can't bear it. This is not his favourite song he's ever made. And if I say it's my favourite song he's ever made, he'll be offended. Of course, my favourite is the remix he did out on Saboteurs Sanctuary of 4Q. There's actually a special unreleased one as well. You can get that on the Bandcamp. And you should definitely check out his Bandcamp as well. Lots and lots of past releases. I am going to try and get him to tell us the story about how this got released, because it's quite good. It was on the last show he did with us on Hoxton FM, which was also our last show in the old studio. Shout out to Michael Sakapakidis, Sape. I probably really butchered that Greek pronunciation, but... So I'm going to let this one play. I'm not going to completely talk all over it. I'm going to play a couple more Alex Seller tracks that I like, that I have on vinyl. And then we're going to have a chat with the man himself, and then he's going to go into the mix for 90 minutes. that last one was Ivan Iacobucci. I don't know how to say it. I think I said it right. The Anthea and Sella hard dub. One of my favourites. I picked it up in Bikini Wax in Berlin. Yeah. I was very, very happy to find it there. Yeah. And this one is of course Alex's remix of my track 4Q out on Saboteurs Sanctuary. You can get that on vinyl still, there's a few copies left, or you can get it on Bandcamp digitally. Right, so we've got the man himself, Alex. Welcome to Forward Movement Studios.
Thank you for having me.
Can you hold your mic a little bit closer?
A little bit closer,
just
like
so
that?
Yeah, because I get people on the chat, on the Twitch, and they're
yes,
like,
saying,
turn his mic up. And I'm like, I can't turn the mic up anymore.
All right.
That's perfect.
Is
That's
that
great.
good? Can you hear me now?
That's really good. Really
Perfect.
Good.
Excellent.
And you've been here a few times before. You've seen.
I have.
You've seen a bit of an evolution, and you also graced the old studios as well.
I love the old studios.
Yeah.
Like in East London. Yeah, I remember. Of course, this is where we met 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long time ago, and you admired my sound card.
Didn't I? Oh my goodness.
We connected.
What a piece of kid.
We connected over sound cards.
Exactly.
And since he's made me sell it.
Of course. Well, I mean, it's obsolete technology now. You know, it's better than me.
Yeah, for sure. So, what have you been getting up to? You've started to. How do I put this? I don't want to tease you, but I'm really I'm really happy that you've joined Instagram.
Right.
And you're now showing all of us how to do it. And we all hate it, and you've just embraced it fully. You were like, I'm not doing it. And then you're like, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm all in.
Yeah, that's right. I'm quite the black and white person. And I'm generally, also very, how can I put it, decisive when it comes to something that I do or I don't do. So yeah, sometimes it's good to sort of regroup and take note of what could have been done better. Maybe 10-15 years ago I had a very sort of myopic or distorted view of Instagram, but I understand now it's a tool and it has to be used as a tool. So yes, I am on Instagram now.
So that's alex.seller.
That's right.
And how do we spell seller?
C-E-L-L-E-R.
And why do we spell it like that?
I don't know, it's just a silly high school nickname. Okay. I know I could have done much better, but a lot of people put an A on it, and it's, it's like cellar. Like half of my flyers are like that.
Yeah, well, we are in a basement, so the cellar would be with an A.
Should have thought.
But no, yeah, it's like I remember making that mistake many years ago when you came as a guest when we were live streaming from Traffic Bar.
Correct.
And I think I spelt it wrong, and the guy who was hosting you, he was like, you spelled his name wrong, he's going to be furious. And like, yeah. So I was, very apologetic about that. And the thing is it made me remember now, but then I'm always realised I spot when other people get it wrong.
Right. I mean, it's really not a big deal.
Good. But so you've released music as Alex Seller with different people, but now you're like working completely by yourself, and you have been for many years. Tell us about what you've got coming out on TRELIK.
Oh well, yeah, that's right. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak a little bit about this release. It's like I think now probably the third collaboration that I'm doing with Baby Ford on TRELIK. He was very kind to welcome me once again in the label. Actually, that's our fourth overall collaboration because I've also done one release for him in his other label, Palacel. But yeah, this release kind of took shape last year. I sent him some music. He selected the ones that he liked, which are always the one that I would never think he would like. And yeah, I guess after that we nailed the release date, which is the 14th of July. We cut the lacquer with Graham and the Exchange Mastering Studios in Kentish Town. And yeah, it's coming out on the 15th of July. All things, if all things go well, distributed by Juno. And yeah, it's not some of my most recent work.
Right.
These two tracks are from 2020 and from 2023, I believe. But yeah, see how they do.
I mean, it's fascinating now you've joined Instagram and you're kind of sharing lots of creations that you've made, and you're also listing the equipment you've made it with.
Right.
But then, like, yeah, so like when you send me music, this is kind of giving people peeling back the curtain a little bit. You don't name any of your tracks. They've just got the date.
Yeah, because the thing is that, you know, like if you make a lot of music, you just don't have the time to name the tracks. Sometimes you name the tracks when you make the track, and then you're like, yeah, it's not such a great track, but the title might be good, but then you've made that sort of mental connection with the track in your mind, and then you name another track that is better with the track that you used, with the name that you used for the previous track, and then it gets all confused. So instead, what I decided to do maybe 6-7 years ago is just to name each track the date that I made it.
Yeah.
And then if the track, you know, turns out to be a decent one or a half decent one, then I'll name it. Or if it gets released. But there's no point on naming tracks when you make 2 or 3 a day, you know.
But then sometimes you send me tracks and it's like 14th of April 2022, 2. And I say, what's the 2 for you? I made 2 tracks that day. I'm like, oh my God. It's just like, yeah, it's so impressive. It really is.
It's honestly, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Thank you for the kind words, but it really isn't that a big deal, because at the end of the day, you know, like being able to churn out a track or 2 or 3 per day, yeah, it might look impressive on the surface, but in the end of the day, is the track good? That's all that matters.
But then you're very much a believer of like you're panning for gold basically. Every time you put your pan in the water and pull it out, that's making a track, and you've got to pan for gold until you kind of hit that thing.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not quantity, it's quality, but you kind of have to go through the process, and the more times you go through it, the more expert you become. And
yeah, practice makes perfect, I suppose. There is such thing as the creative muscle, and the creative muscle has to be exercised like every other muscle. You know, you've got like your real muscles, you got your psychological, your emotional muscles, but there is such thing as the creative muscle. So if you exercise it daily, it's going to get stronger. So repetition is the mother of knowledge and the mother of skill. So hopefully, you know, making tunes every day kind of gets you into that groove and in that mood, you know.
Or as musicians say, your chops. I've got to get my chops, like
That's right.
The trombone player I knew, he was I don't want you to film me playing because I haven't practiced enough, basically, which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got you had a release. How long ago was it now? The previous one on TRELIK. So obviously I played your first release on TRELIK with Haz on it, but you had this other release that I really feel got missed by quite a few people. I mean, I saw John Demas playing it and I was kind of going crazy, like trying to film him playing it and the reaction. But what was that one? What were the tracks on that one called? Because they had really cool names as well.
Yes. So basically the whole EP was sort of themed after obviously some sort of alien encounter in space. You know, that was the last EP that I did on TRELIK. It was basically called Portals of Unknown.
And there was a track, Object in the Sky, wasn't there?
Object in the Sky is the one that nobody played.
No.
Yeah. Well, I have not heard anybody play. I've heard like Ricardo, Radu, Z, Praris played the tracks on the A side.
Yeah.
So Ancient Astronauts and Stargate to Cosmos, which is the one that most people liked.
Yeah.
But the B sides, which is the one that I liked the most.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I didn't hear it being played anywhere. But yeah, that was my last release. And yeah, that was the last thing I've released. It's been a while now.
But did that come out 2022?
Yeah, that's right. It was
So
April 22, I think.
So it's kind of like lockdown 8 or whatever, which level lockdown was. The last lockdown had finished.
Correct.
And everyone was kind of out, and I feel like, or in a way, the timing kind of, I think people should go and revisit it basically and check it out.
Thank you, appreciate that.
And I think when they go to listen to the new release, that's typically what someone does. They're like, oh shit, this is amazing, and then they listen back to like back 1, back 2, and then so I think there'll be lots of people discovering it, and I think that it deserves more attention than it got at the time. But that's always the way, isn't it? Whatever we think is amazing, you like. I'm trying to circle back to the Has track, because you tell this great story, and I don't want us to dwell on it, but you weren't even going to play that to Baby Fours.
No, in fact, the story goes like this. When I gave my demo to Peter, it was, I believe, October. It was the Fabric birthday of 2014. So I basically burned on a CD my 8 favorite tracks with the modular, glitchy, futuristic, the kind of thing that I liked. And then at the end I put 2 houseier tracks with silly vocals that I've made myself singing through a vocoder. And I gave it to him on the club, and I also gave him a copy of one of the records from the record label that I was running back then called Sylph. I gave it to him, and he's like, oh, wait a second, I got this one. And then he pulled it out of his DJ bag.
Wow.
And I guess maybe that's why he listened to my CD, because he already liked something that I had in there, And I didn't hear from him for a good 2.5 months. And then Boxing Day, 26th of December 2014, he wrote me an email and he said, oh, I love the last 2 tracks on your CD. Would you like to release them in TRELIK? And I thought to myself, the 2 last tracks on the CD, I mean, they were literally just fillers. Just I dragged and dropped them on the Nero CD burner.
Bookending the release.
Basically.
But that's amazing.
And I was like, oh, really? Those 2 tracks? Because, that's what happened. Like the theme since then was that I would send him music and he would always pick and choose the ones that I liked, perhaps, or expect him to like the least, And then we signed those 2 tracks, and just a few weeks before we were ready to go on mastering and cut the lacquer, he came to my place to listen to the final mixdowns of these 2 tracks, and he was like, that was 2015 May. And he said, by the way, do you have any other music to play me? And I started playing all these like glitzy, modular, forward-thinking tunes, and he was like, okay. And then my then ex-girlfriend was there and said, why don't you play him this track called Has? And I said, I'm not sure I want to play that one. And he's like, no, play it. So, I played it, and he's like, yeah, that's the one I want for the release.
And wait, what happened to the first 2 that he was going to sign?
Oh, just like
they're gone.
We found them.
What happened to those?
Oh, they're just in a hard drive somewhere.
So no one's ever heard those. They never got released.
They're not really that great, to be honest.
Wow, but they got your foot in the door. Well, your Sylph release got your foot in the door, and the fact that he had bought it and literally on merit, he'd seen, and so that got your foot in the door. Then you gave a CD.
Right.
Then he liked the tracks you liked the least, and then when he came over, you actually played something else that you didn't want to play him.
Yeah,
but
because
that you were kind of not embarrassed into, but
the things that like the track that you like Has, the one that eventually got released, and it apparently did well. People liked it. For me, I was like listening to a lot of Gemini at that time, and I massively respect Gemini as an incredible producer that he is, and I was trying to kind of make something that had that sort of vibe.
Right.
So for me, it was like just
an homage rather than
more or less, know. But sometimes when we kind of, because the creative process, in my humble opinion, shouldn't be intellectual, should be sort of visceral.
Yeah.
If you start thinking while you're in the studio, it never comes out right. I just wanted to go for a feeling, so I was just there making music, not really thinking too much about anything that apart from the fact that I want to make something that sounds like Gemini.
Right.
It was just one of the many tracks that I made that month. It was actually May 2014 when I made that track. But yeah, he happened to like that one, and the rest is it's out there for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to create too much of an illusion that you're making 3 tracks a day every day.
No.
There are peaks and troughs, aren't there? There's like I say about you have a purple patch,
Right.
and then you're just being prolific for like 10 days, 2 weeks or something,
Yeah.
and it's
when life allows it, because obviously it would be a dream to be able to make music every day. It will be definitely the place to be, but obviously sometimes you have to do other things. You have to, like distract yourself with other things because, I run a mix down studio, mastering studio, have a little vinyl business that I do as well. So sometimes you get distracted from life, but yeah, in a perfect world, making music every day would be my go-to for sure. So yeah, I don't make 3 tracks a day, no. When I'm in the studio, I can easily do that, and I usually hit like these purple patches that you spoke about, bursts of energy. But yeah, they go up, they go down, and you make the most of them.
yeah, for sure. So are you gonna release anything yourself? So you're releasing on TRELIK, but and you've released on many other great labels, but you kind of have toyed. I know you've toyed with the idea of putting some stuff out yourself. Is that, how likely is that happening?
It would be great to start a record label. It's in my plans by the end of the year, early 2026, to start a little record label, just release some music, put some music out there. It will depend. There are a lot of things in play, pressing plans, there are lead times, mastering, distribution, and all this kind of thing. But I have a lot of music to release and a lot of music to press. So once I kind of focus and find out what exactly I want, I'll definitely do it. Yes, it's in my plans, and I would like to be releasing more music than I'm releasing now, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the TRELIK release will hit lots of people, and there'll be loads of people sharing videos of crowd reactions, which is what all artists and DJs need. They need you, the crowd, to film it, tag us in it, and then let us share it, basically.
Yeah,
that's the dream, right? You just
for me, to be honest with you, I understand this is how social media works, but for me, I respect it, but the music is a little bit more important than the video itself. Yes, I understand it's the carrier, social media is the carrier and the video is the carrier of the reaction. But I think, philosophically speaking, perhaps the music itself should elicit those emotions without the need for a crowd to demonstrate that. But that's just my opinion.
I think it just takes one person to capture one of those moments that it creates and share it, that really helps it kind of catch fire and more people to hear it. And then, I fully expect lots of people to be asking you to release music on their labels.
Let's see.
After this release. Right, so we had a 30-minute track to talk over.
Yep.
We've got 13 minutes left.
Actually, we got
9 minutes. I don't want to eat into any more of the time that we get of you playing. So I'm going to let you take over, go into the mix. Alex Seller for the next 90 minutes. What have you got for us? Lots of vinyl, lots of unreleased stuff?
I have a lot of unreleased stuff from that purple patch that you spoke about, and so many other things. I like record digging in my own house. I have a lot of records, so sometimes it's nice to just shift through the shelves and see what's there, make some edits. So a lot of edits, a lot of unreleased stuff, and a lot of obscure weird things, B-sides and whatnot.
Okay.
So let's see. I don't know. I have got a few bits and pieces to play for you.
Right, we're gonna have you in the mix, and then at the end we'll just say one more thing, and I might ask you to give your tips on making edits. Sure. Because you are definitely an edit master for sure. I
love making edits. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I need your tips.
Splicing audio is my thing.
I need your tips at the end. Right. Okay. So we're gonna let Alex Seller go into the mix here on Hoxton FM for the next 90 minutes.
group is still there. The group is still there. Can you feel it? Tell words. Still there. Tell words. The group is still there. Can you feel it? The group is still there. Can you feel it? The group is still there. Can you feel it? Tell words. Words. Can you feel it? The group is still there. Can you feel it? The group is still there. Can you feel it? still there. Telephonic words. The group is still there. Can you feel it? The group is still there. Can you feel it? The group is still there. Can you feel it? Telephonic words. Words.
Slice approach necessary instead of processing all up along the world on one integrated
Oh, here
There we go.
Thank you. Good.
No worries.
Don't turn those down.
Okay, cool. Is that good? Let me hear. Okay, here we go. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes.
So I've put the headphones on Alex so he can hear himself speaking.
This time around.
Thanks so much for that mix. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It was a lot easier to write everything down because you said, yeah, unreleased, unknown, all of this.
There were a fair amount of release tracks.
There's a few from you. There were.
That's right.
There were a few edits in there.
That's right as well.
But what I wanted to make sure we covered. So, right, firstly, in a nutshell, what is the art of an edit all about?
The art of an edit. That's a loaded question, but it's loaded in a good sense of the word. So basically, for a good edit, I think you need good raw material. So you need a track that sounds really good. Maybe it's got some cheesy parts. Maybe it's got something that you don't like, or maybe it's got potential to be extended, potential to be rearranged in a way that would make more sense. Maybe there are some parts that are a little bit busy, and maybe there are some parts that are a little bit, too empty, and you can just rearrange everything. Maybe run it through your kit, through some plugins, and make it sound fatter. So you need to dig for good tracks that have that potential.
Yeah. I've got quite a few ideas, but I've never really been able to execute. So I'm going to have a crack at one or two, I think, before I next see you. I might bring them round.
Right. If you need a crash course on edits, you
yeah.
know where to find me.
Absolutely. And we must not forget to mention you're playing in Berlin.
That's right.
Next Thursday.
That's Thursday, CDV. I'm going to play at Meltdown. CDV on Thursday. It's like a day-long party. Starts midday and it goes on until next day, midday. So it's a 24-hour party, very long one. And looking forward to travel to Berlin again. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what time you're playing?
Not yet, but I guess, quite a few times through the day and the night.
And are you staying there, or are you just turning up with like a backpack and a spare pair of pants?
You know me.
2 pairs of pants.
Exactly. That's more than enough. But no, 48 hours is all I need, not to get too distracted.
Yes, but to get suitably inspired?
Yes, always, when you hear good music in a good sound system, and obviously CTV is the place for this kind of sound that we like and we love, you always come back inspired. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be a purple patch following it.
Hopefully so. Hopefully, I haven't made much music since mid-May, I would say. So I think it's about time.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's always about time for you to make more music, because it always just blows me away when you send me stuff. I'm just like, it's both inspiring and kind of like, what's the point in even trying? Like,
no, bro, it's really don't see it this way. Really, there is no need to see it this way, because at the end of the day, the more you kind of exercise that muscle we spoke earlier about, the more natural it becomes. I feel that I am really not owning my craft as much as I should. I feel this is like third, fourth gear. When one focuses in the studio and has no other distractions, then you can push full throttle, But yeah, of course, if you've been making music since quite some time, it kind of tends to look a bit easier, but it's not.
But have you ever felt like, this is it? Because I wonder whether it's a thing where you're always chasing the dragon a bit, or you can't see the wood for the trees because you're so ingrained in what you're doing at that moment, and you can't step back and go, actually, compared to, when did you start? I
started making music in 99.
Yeah.
99, 2000, but not seriously until 2003, I would say.
Because that was just like a computer, all in the box?
Yeah, all in the box.
And then when did you get modular?
Always in the box until 2011, I would say.
And then you got modular?
Then I got the modular and the rest of the kit, and it's been downhill ever since.
Yeah. Gas life.
Yeah,
for sure.
Gas life. Gear acquisition
gear.
syndrome.
Yeah, more gear, more problems. Well, basically, more MIDI timing issues.
Yeah, more MIDI timing issues, man. It's such a pain. That's why I like to work in a different way right now, where I don't necessarily line up everything and record. Instead, I've developed this, as you know already, I've told you about this my own kind of little technique. My own technique is not my own, but you know what I mean. Like, where I just record one machine exclusively for a few days.
Yeah.
I just make basically a mini sample library with bass lines, synths, pads, whatever from that machine, and then I keep it in a folder, and I do that again and again for all my pieces of kit, and then I just put my headphones on a lonely night and I splice parts together to make a track.
Wow.
That can kind of help sometimes, so you don't have to always like turn on the machines and like program them together, which I love to do still, but sometimes you just want to focus and make some music. That's why I can make a lot of music quickly, because I have access to material that I've worked hard to make it sound like it is. If I always have a folder with really good sounding bass lines, then I don't need to actually go and make a bass line every single time.
And is there a default BPM then? Do you have
130? Yeah.
130.
I did 132 for 4 years, but it's a bit fast. I think 130, 129 is a good compromise for that sweet spot between house and techno.
Well, I think that's more than enough secrets for all the listeners.
Next time I will have more for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, please do come back next time.
I would love to.
I'd love to have you on. Maybe we do like an extended session, because I feel like you were just starting to get
That's right. I
would
would have easily done another 1 hour. So maybe next time we'll do a bit longer if you want.
Yeah, maybe we'll do like over a weekend or something, like a daytime thing, and we can kind of relax. And
sounds like
I just want to get you in here and like help me. And
how can I help? How may I help?
Yeah, how may I help you? Well, I will tell you off air, because
all right.
I have many more questions.
No problem.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Dan. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your hospitality, and thank you as always for the amazing setup and incredible. Wow, what a studio! I got so many messages saying, "What is this place?" Congratulations with what you're doing. With Formless Movement Studio and with Foxy FM.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And yes, we'll catch you next week, Thursday. And I'm not going to tell you who the guest is because I can't remember.
Okay, no worries. All right then.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.